So a few months back, Jacob Fatu was brutally assaulted backstage at Friday Night SmackDown. There was absolutely nobody around, and he was put on a shelf indefinitely. Well, last week he made his return during the Three Stages of Hell match between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes, and he attacked both Drew and Cody. Now, because he did this, it made it quite apparent that he also didn't know who did it, but he narrowed it down between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Over the last few months, though, there's been several names that has popped up as the suspect or the prime suspect to who took out Jacob Fatu. There was Solo Sikoa, Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, and Jimmy Uso. All five men who have been in some close proximity with Jacob Fatu. Looking at the whole situation with Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes with Jacob Fatu in the equation, it does seem like Drew McIntyre has absolutely nothing to do with what happened to Jacob. He is standing on that. He's been standing on that for several months now. When it first happened, he was saying that he wasn't the one that did it. And to me, I feel like he probably just didn't do it. Drew McIntyre is one person who loves to put a name to ass whoopings, right? Like, he's not gonna let no one else take the credit for the shit that he's done. If he's gonna cause some destruction, he's gonna make sure you know he did it. He's gonna make sure you've seen him do it, okay? So I kind of believe him. Now, as for Cody, though, Friday, he announced that he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, but he also did a straight direct shot at Jacob Fatu. And while he was talking, it didn't come off as if he was the one that attacked Jacob. He seemed to be more so pissed off with the fact that Jacob came out there during his match with Drew and costed him his title. He was more fucked up about that. So, with that being his, issue, it just didn't seem like Cody might have had anything to do with it either. So now we can cross Cody and Drew McIntyre off the list somewhat. At least I'm going to cross them off the list, and I'm going to just put them in the back of my mind for now until we get a little bit more information. Solo Sikoa was another suspect in this whole debacle, but just like Drew McIntyre, Solo Sikoa will put a name to an ass whooping. Have we not paid attention to Solo? Do we not know who Solo is? That man don't give a fuck about hiding or lying about anything. The fuck he got to lie about? He's Solo Sikoa. He's going to tell you whether or not he did something. He hasn't said anything about whether or not he was the one that took out, Jacob Fatu. Now, I know Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa have their differences, especially being that they were both in the MFT together and what was previously Bloodline 2.0. But it seems like he is focused more on other shit. For example, the Wyatts. He's been beefing with the Wyatts for months now. I don't really think that he wants not only just Jacob Fatu on his back, but also the Wyatt Six. It's just not a good look. It's a lot going on. He's gonna get overstimulated. It's all bad from there. He doesn't want all that. He doesn't want all that going on. He has other things to focus on. That's just not one of them. Not to mention, there was a lot of weird stuff that was happening around the time that Jacob and Solo were going back and forth with each other. I don't understand how he got arrested when his boys were in the accident and they were hurt and they accused him of doing it, but it happened. This was around the time that Jimmy was still there, and it made a lot of people wonder whether or not Jimmy could have possibly framed Solo and got him out the picture. That could have definitely been the case. Solo hasn't really given me a reason or indication to believe that he was the person that took out Jacob, and Jacob has been back. He's not even on that man's radar. I don't even know if Jacob is even going to approach that man, but if he does, we'll see what happens after that. It would be kind of interesting if Solo was like, maybe you should check Jimmy if Jacob does approach him. I would be very, very interested in seeing what happens, or if that even happens. WWE, give me that. I need to know. I need a little bit more story with this whodunit, okay? Next person on the list is Randy Orton. I'm going to be very quick with this because Randy hasn't even really been around enough for anyone to be like, oh, Randy did that. But another reason why I don't think Randy did it is because it seems like his heel turn is more so associated with Cody Rhodes. If Cody was still champion, I could understand why he took out Jacob, because Jacob was talking about how he wanted next and he wanted to come see, Cody about the title. I get that. But Cody is no longer champion, and Randy isn't giving any hints as to whether or not he was the one that did it either. And also, just like Solo Sikoa and Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton isn't afraid to put his name on an ass whooping because who's gonna whoop his ass? I really do think they're stalling on Randy turning heel because in order for Randy to turn heel, I feel like Cody has to have the championship. Like that has to be a thing. So Randy is off my list. Now that leaves me with one last person. Jimmy Uso. Jimmy was Jacob's right-hand man for just a little bit. Whenever Jacob needed help, Jimmy was right there to help him. No one ever knew or understood why he was there. He never really explained why he was there, despite all the bullshit that was going on with the MFTs and the bloodline while Jacob was in it. But he let bygones be bygones, suspiciously. There was multiple instances during Jimmy's run with Jacob that we thought that Jimmy was going to turn on Jacob, and we were fully expecting a Jimmy heel turn, but it never came. But then Jacob got attacked, and Jimmy was nowhere to be found. Jimmy didn't show up until the next week on SmackDown, and he immediately went to Nick Aldis and was like, hey, have you heard anything about who attacked my cousin? He heard Drew McIntyre, and he went to handle business with Drew McIntyre. He was on that man's ass for a minute there, right? And even then, while he was getting his ass whooped, Drew was still saying, I didn't do it. Leave me alone. I didn't do it. After that, Jimmy shows up on Raw to help Jay with the vision, and he doesn't really ever step foot on SmackDown ever again after that. He stays on Raw. He's doing his own thing. Roman's there. And then eventually we get Jimmy and Jay as a tag team again, and then eventually tag team champion. I feel like if Jimmy was the one who actually took out Jacob, he would have a good alibi in Jay. As in, hey, it couldn't have been me that did it. I was helping my brother with the vision over on Raw. I didn't even know it happened. So that is his alibi right there. And now, as of Monday, Jimmy is listed internally as a Raw superstar. Before this past Monday, Jimmy was still listed as a SmackDown superstar. But because he won the tag team championships with his brother Jay over on Raw, he is permanently on Raw now. To me, it feels like Jimmy could have possibly did what he did, fled the scene, and successfully evaded. Even though it was really weird that he popped up the next week after Jacob was attacked to see who did it. And if he came to attack Drew McIntyre, it makes it seem like he was avenging his cousin, even though that was not really the case. He was just trying to do a cover-up. Also, don't you guys think it was really weird that when Jacob showed up on Friday, Jimmy was nowhere to be found on Monday? Now, I was fully expecting Jimmy to pop up on SmackDown, but it didn't happen, of course. And I'm sure there's going to be some people in the comment section that are going to bring up his personal life. I understand Naomi is pregnant. We're not talking about his personal life. We're talking about the character and the storyline that they are in. Stay with me now. Stay with me. What if Jimmy did it, though? While on the surface, it appears to be Drew and Cody Rhodes, it definitely is someone we did not see coming. Now, if it's Jimmy and he pulled a Naomi, I got to give it to him. Because there was a lot of people that were speculating or wanting Jimmy to turn heel, but wanted him to follow Naomi's footsteps in turning heel, as in taking out one of his loved ones or one of his friends and snatching up somebody's crown. That's what they wanted him to do. But, like, they've been very weird about Jimmy's booking. So, of course, they didn't do it. But what if he actually did it, though? What if he actually did attack Jacob Fatu? I enjoy these little whodunit storylines that the WWE is running with lately because it was such a success with the big three, with Naomi turning heel, with Jade coming back and attacking Naomi, and that's how we found out who actually did it because they framed a lot of people. We really thought Liv Morgan did it for a moment there until Elimination Chamber happened and Naomi was taken out by Jade. They could be following in the same footsteps right now, bro. Like, you know, Jimmy and Jay are tag team champions right now. Naomi and Bianca were both tag team champions at the time of the Elimination Chamber. And when it came out finally that it was Naomi, hey, Bianca had to watch Naomi get her ass whooped. That could possibly be the same thing that happens with Jay. He might have to watch Jimmy get his ass whooped or join in and help. I don't know. I mean, both of them need something interesting to happen because right now it's just not cutting it. Them in the tag team division, like I've been saying, Not cutting it. Not cutting it at all. They're not doing shit with them guys. I hate that for them so bad. But yeah, we need something fresh. And that's the only reason why I theorize all of these things about Jimmy and all these things about Jay. Because I want something fresh, something for me to sink my teeth in when it comes to these guys. Because storyline wise, real rough out there, y'all. It's real rough. But who do you guys think took out Jacob Fatu? Do you think it was Solo? Do you think it was Cody? Do you think it was Randy? What about Drew McIntyre or Jimmy Uso? Or someone we just don't know yet? Put it in the comment section down below and let's talk about it.